Yep, you know what time it is, man. It's of course your favorite channel, man. CTB, Chin Tuck, Boxing. I'm your boy Jay Slay. Say what up to him, man.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in tonight.
Most definitely. You know what you're tuning in to, man. This is a segment we call here. This is the Raw Review, man, where we break down the fight that we seen, or the lack of a fight that we seen. I'm gonna be honest, man. It didn't seem much of a fight, but this is my opinion. We talking about the Ryan Garcia versus Fortuna fight, man. I'm gonna be honest, really quick. I would say that I was disappointed in the results I seen in the fight. Not the results, but more so the effort that I seen in the fight. We're gonna talk about it though, man. We're gonna break it down. All right, I'm gonna go with my opinion first. What was your opinion of the fight, man? Was you a little disappointed like I was in the fight, or was you kind of like, I seen it coming?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. We both predicted Ryan Garcia to win, but we thought Fortuna would be a good matchup. I thought he would make it tough for him kind of early, and then in the second half of the fight, I thought he would outbox him and probably win the decision. But it seemed like Fortuna didn't show up, man. I mean, like I said, he landed some decent shots early in the fight, but pretty much after that, he started looking for that one big shot, and he was just a sitting duck to me. He didn't really come to fight. Like, he even looked kind of soft. I think we talked about it off air that he looked a little soft and pudgy. Even though he made the weight, he didn't look in shape 140 pounds. And, I know he getting up there in age somewhat, because I think he's 33, but he's not too old, because I don't think he's been that active too lately. So it was kind of shady to me a little bit without trying to take the credit away from Garcia. It almost like he came to not win somewhat for whatever reason to me. Like, he just came to get paid. But, you know what I'm saying? With all that being said, I got to give Ryan Garcia his credit. And, he did what he's supposed to do, even if the guy didn't come prepared. He went in there, he put him down 3 times, stopped him in the 6th round. So, for Garcia to be out the ring so long and the layoff and to do all the talking, he looked pretty good tonight.
I agree with everything you said, man. I will say this though, I add this to it. Not only did Fortuna like he was trying to make weight in this fight, and that was his main focus in this fight. It didn't look like he ever had a game plan for the fight. It looked like he pretty much saw the Luke Campbell fight and was trying to do the same thing Luke Campbell did to hurt Ryan Garcia. It didn't happen for him. Luke Campbell was taller, he was longer, and in my opinion, he had a lot more pop than what Fortuna had. So the shots that Fortuna was landing, it really did not affect Garcia. What I can say, I can't see that the shots he did land on Garcia, it had Garcia thinking about it, but it wasn't more so like he was rocked at all. He just thought about it like, oh, he hit me, he was kind of clean. I need to watch for that shot next time. For anybody who's been in the ring before, it's kind of common knowledge. You kind of look and see what our opponent has, and then you kind of, you know what I'm saying, try to adjust your game plan based on what the opponent shows you. When you do that, and your opponent's game plan is a former opponent, it's like an easy ass out for me. And it's like Fortuna's game plan was a former opponent of Garcia's, which was, Luke Campbell. The whole thing was to land a heavy shot from an overhand left, and it wasn't there. It wasn't there for him. Like you said earlier, it looked like he was pudgy. It looked to me like he just made weight. It looked like he was trying to just show a good showing of himself. I won't say he passed his prime. He's 33 years old, man. Come on. I say this real quick. They say Fortuna is past his prime. It's like saying both Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford are past their prime. Because both of them are 33 plus. You understand what I'm saying? So Fortuna won't pass his prime. It just look like his heart and his mind won't in the fight. And it look like I'm not going to go as far as say he was paid off to lose. I'm not going to go on that limb. I'm not going to say that because, you know what I'm saying, it's opinionated. But I will say this. I will say it looked to me like he wasn't in the fight to win it. It looked like he was more so, he was in it for the payday. Ryan Garcia is a decent payday. He was the main event of a decent card on DAZN. If you're Fortuna, I'm asking you this question. If you're Fortuna, what was your other options other than Garcia? Like, what was you going to do to make that type of money? What other fighter could you have to be a main event on any type of card?
That's pretty much it. I mean, for the money he gonna want to get, with the money he can make probably tonight. Ryan Garcia is the a good paycheck, man. Like you said, even though Ryan Garcia got a lot of bullshit with him, he has a big drawing and following, and especially his casual fans, they believe in him. They think he's an elite boxer and fighter. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that he hasn't been consistent.
I'm saying he's not. Well, go ahead.
I'm gonna say he's not. I'm not gonna say he's not. I'm gonna say he's not. He haven't been consistent as far as dedicating his life to boxing. And when you don't dedicate your life to boxing, I can't consider you with the elites around the same age group and around the same weight bracket as you when they putting in the work and you doing Instagram and all these different social media videos. So I just say that.
I'm gonna say this real quick. It looked like to me like all right. Let's talk about the call out. The call out at the end of the fight. We talk about the fight. We seen what the fight was. It really ain't really much to talk about the fight. Let's talk about the post fight. He pretty much stated that he wasn't going back down to 135 anymore. He pretty much said that he was going to fight at 140. He's going to campaign at 140. But he called out Tank Davis at 140, who was a guy who only had one fight at 140. I'm gonna give my quick breakdown on that real quick. I'm asking your opinion on the fight, on the call out. In my opinion, it seems to me like he knows Tank is not going to take that call out. Like it would have been different if you would took it at 135, which I'm pretty sure Tank won the campaign at, because that's where all the big fights is at. That's where all the big fights is at, and that's where the future big fights is at when Shakur Stevenson moves up. At 140, Ryan Garcia seems to me like he's trying to be the shot caller at 140, because even though Taylor hasn't moved up yet, he said he was gonna move to 147. He hasn't moved up yet per se, but he said he was gonna move up to 147. 140 is pretty much going to come down to Lopez and Garcia. I don't think Tank gonna leave 135 for those two fights, in my opinion, when he has a big mega fights with Lomachenko, Devin Haney, and then possibly in the future Shakur Stevenson. But it seems to me like Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions are insisting on having Tank Davis's name in their mouth to promote Ryan Garcia. So I'm gonna get your opinion on this real quick. What do you think about them now stating that Ryan Garcia per se, not stating that he now want to campaign at 140? He's not going back down to 135. He said from his own mouth now. I'm not saying something he didn't say. I'm not saying something Oscar De La Hoya said. I'm not saying something that it was a message from another person. It came out of his own mouth saying he was going to fight at 140 and wasn't going back to 135 anymore. What do you think about that statement? And then what do you think Tank Davis is thinking about in that statement? And what do you think Tank Davis should do after that statement?
It's crazy. It's crazy that you start making the points you did, because I got a crazy theory that I'm gonna tell you what I think is going on. And you pretty much touched on it already somewhat. So I'm gonna tell you this theory. So like you said, at 135, it's a hot division. You got Lomachenko, you got Shakur talking about moving up, you got Devin Haney. I don't believe you got Tank Davis. I don't believe that De La Hoya fully believes in Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia is all he has except for Virgil Ortiz. Right. That's the only way he gonna make some real money. So he has to protect Ryan Garcia as long as possible. So he has taken the Bob Arum blueprint, which is keep the most popular, biggest name in your division on your mouth right before you fight, right after you fight, which would be Tank Davis. So every time he fight, he gonna say he won't Tank Davis. De La Hoya gonna say, I want to try to make the fight. I want to fight Tank Davis. He gonna throw that for the next 3 or 4 fights to make Ryan Garcia relevant. But like you said, I think he moved it to 140 to get a head start. He's trying to become the king at 140. Like you said, Josh Taylor's getting to move up. He's already vacated, I think, 2 or 3 belts. His belts?
1 or 2.
2. So you got 2 vacant belts sitting out there. They're sitting out there. Ryan Garcia is trying to run up and get one of those belts so he can say, I'm a shot caller. I'm the man at 140. Y'all come up here and see me. And I'm going to tell you an even crazier theory that I think. I don't think he's trying to fight Tank Davis anytime soon. But I'm gonna tell you, I think he could fight, and I'm gonna see what you think about it. Because here we go, a big fight. This is a huge fight that came to my mind. Adrian Broner is fighting in August he's fighting at 140. I didn't know that fight was at 140. That fight's supposed to be at 140. We'll see how he makes the weight, how he look, and if he can beat Omar Figueroa, which is a question mark. Because I don't know if AB is all the way in the sport either. But if AB beats Figueroa at 140 and looks pretty good, I'm telling you, Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia is gonna look at Adrian Broner, Ryan Garcia fight for a vacant 140-pound fight. And because of the money it's gonna bring in, and because of the way those two guys can talk and their popularity, the sanctioning bodies will make them the mandatory for a vacant belt, even though they haven't worked their way up to it. So don't be surprised if that happens.
I'm gonna say this, not trying to kill your dreams on that fight. I'm gonna say this: if Adrian Broner not only makes the weight at 140, if he makes that 140, I know they extended the fight because he was supposed to fight. I think in this month, was it? When he first
It
should have been July, but they postponed it a little bit until August, I believe, so he can make the 140 weight. If he makes that weight and then he looks good against a Brandon Figueroa, if he let his hands go and stop Brandon Figueroa, I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure, I'm 1,000% sure that Oscar De La Hoya would change his mind if that was his game plan. If his game plan was, yo, you can go to 140 and fight Adrian Broner off of Brandon Figueroa and beat Adrian Broner. If Adrian Broner dominates Brandon Figueroa, Garcia has no chance of beating Adrian Broner. I'm being honest. From what I seen tonight, the gun shy, he was missing shots on the Fortuna wasn't there to fight. I'm gonna be honest. Fortuna wasn't there to land anything that was damaging. Fortuna was there to survive. And you went 6 rounds with the guy. You landed some good shots, yeah. You landed some good shots, but you looked like the same. I'm gonna say this real quick. Devin Haney was in the building, right? Devin Haney, he gave his it was like 3rd or 4th round. He gave his little mid-fight analysis of the fight. He broke it down perfectly. He didn't shit on Garcia at all. He didn't shit on him, but he said, yeah, I mean, he's looking good. Fortuna is looking for the big shot, blase. And then the guy asked him, what do you think about how Garcia looked? He was like, man, he doing what he's supposed to do. He doing what he's supposed to do against the guy he fighting, pretty much. Not saying pervading what he's saying. I'm gonna say, so fighting Adrian Broner, a guy who's used to fighting at 147, who's hungry, if you're coming off a Brandon Figueroa win, a dominating win, Oscar De La Hoya, you're not gonna put him in there with him. I'm being honest. You'd be a lot safer putting him in there with somebody like a Kambosos. You'd be safer putting him in there with Kambosos than you would be putting him in with a Adrian Broner coming off a huge win, who's hungry and thirsty for a fucking championship belt. I'm being honest. That's my opinion. What you think about that?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I'm thinking about money wise, and like I said, he could fight Lopez, but I think Lopez too dangerous for him. I don't think they would do a fight with Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez
I think Gary Russell, he's not gonna fight
Russell.
him.
Yeah,
Antoine Russell, Gary Russell brother. He ain't fucking with him. I know he's not gonna mess with him. Regis Prograis, he's not gonna mess with Regis Prograis right now. So, and then Ramirez, he's not gonna fight Ramirez. I don't think Ramirez.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest again. Ramirez coming off of being dominated by Taylor, and then coming off of a confidence building win. If he wins the next fight,
the fuck Garcia.
If Adrian Broner now fights Brandon Figueroa and dominates Brandon Figueroa, man, Oscar De La Hoya not gonna make that fight, bro. I'm being honest. Oscar De La Hoya, think about it, man. Ryan Garcia, in my opinion, is tailor-made.
That's your question.
What?
How many pay-per-views you think they'll sell?
I don't think it will be on pay-per-view. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it'll be on pay-per-view.
Shit.
Brandon, I don't think so, because I think the the promotional shit will get in the way. I think the zone will get in the way, and I think Broner's on Showtime again now. I think he's on Showtime. He was on Fox at one minute ago, but I think he's on Showtime now. I don't think it'll be, if it's pay-per-view, it'll be a pay-per-view on Fox, and the zone will have to sign off on that, which I mean, it's gonna be in the way anyway. Like, I think anybody who this is another thing too. Now we on that promotional. Now we on the networks conversation. That's another thing I think Oscar De La Hoya knows. Oscar De La Hoya knows that the networks will be in the way of any fight. There's any danger to Ryan Garcia. Any dangerous fight for Ryan Garcia is on the opposite network. It's on a different network. Even with Ramirez, he on ESPN. You understand what I'm saying? So who the fuck he gonna fight on the zone at 140?
It's nobody with a name that he can fight at 140. Oh, it's one guy. I got one for you at 140, and he's on the zone. Montana Love.
All right, so all right, Montana Love. Okay, I hear you. Okay, I hear you. So you got Montana Love. But you know who else is on the zone?
Who?
He's a weight class down at 135. He's a unified, undisputed champion at 135 by the name of Devin Haney. So why would you leave?
Not yet though, right? He got one more fight with ESPN, right?
Huh? No, he's still with his own. Just for him to get them belts, he had to sign with ESPN and Top Rank to get those belts per se. But he still has a contract per se with I
mean, once he finishes
with Eddie Hearn, he's still with Eddie Hearn.
He with Eddie Hearn, but he got to fight Cambosa next, supposedly. I just Cambosa just get out the way. So he got at least one more fight before Devin Haney can put his hands on Garcia.
Right. So I'm saying this is what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, the whole reason, all right, you the zone, right? You the zone, you marketing both fighters. You both from both Ryan Garcia and you marketing Devin Haney. Why would Ryan Garcia, knowing that I'm in the same weight class as the undisputed champion of my weight class, why would I want to move up to 140 in a division where the belts are scattered and there's no big fights?
To give Ryan Garcia a longer lifeline.
Exactly. That's my exact point. Exactly. That's my exact point. Oscar De La Hoya is smart. Oscar De La Hoya knows that Ryan Garcia ain't, like you said earlier in the video, he knows Ryan Garcia not ready for none of those big fights. For no Tank Davis. He's not ready for Devin Haney. He's not ready for Shakur Stevenson. If Shakur Stevenson move up. He's not ready for who you said earlier, Gary Antoine Russell. He's not ready for him at 140. He's not ready for Ramirez at 140. He's not ready for, what's the other guy you named? Regis Prograis. He's not ready for Prograis at 140. He's not ready for none of those guys. So to avoid any type of pressure to fight any of those guys, you move it to 140 and stay on the zone. What you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a longer lifeline. If he gets to act like he's chasing greatness, I'm going up in weight, and he feel like if I'm the champion at 140, I'm bigger than you guys. Come up to my weight. I'm Ryan Garcia. I'm up here at 140, a bigger division. Right. I'm the champion, and y'all down there at 135. When y'all get tired of playing with a little man down there, come up to 140, and we can make this fight. So he's trying to become the shot caller because he has the popularity, but he don't have the belts and he don't have the resume to call those shots yet. So he said, let's go to 140, get some hardware, let's get some belts under you, and then we can kind of put pressure on Tank Davis and Devin Haney to make it seem like they the duck. So don't be surprised if the narrative start to change in the boxing community that Tank Davis and Devin Haney is scared of Ryan Garcia because they campaigning at 135 and this guy ran at 140.
It's not only that. I think he trying to get ahead of the curve because they're gonna have to move up at some point. Devin Haney gonna have to move up at some point. Yeah, Tank Davis gonna have to move up at some point. Shakur Stevens a long ways from 140. He still had to go to 135. I don't see Lomachenko going to 140. He's already small for 135. So I think Lomachenko is going to max out at 135, possibly. But I'll say this though. If Lomachenko fight Ryan Garcia at 140,
he may go up there.
He may go up there.
And that gives Ryan Garcia a chance.
Exactly. It gives him a chance to not only possibly outweigh Lomachenko and win, but it gives him a chance to steal Lomachenko away from the Tank Davises and the Shakur and David Haney's of the world, because he had the same type of payday. But Lomachenko might say, you know what, Ryan Garcia ain't that big of a challenge, for real. But he has a name, he has a belt possibly. I go to 140 and fight this man. But man, we all speaking hypothetical right now, man. I will say this though. Going back to the Fortuna fight, I would say this did not surprise me. It did not wow me. It did not. It didn't do nothing for me. It didn't swim my opinion on Ryan Garcia. He looked like the same guy who I think would get stopped by pretty much everybody at 135. He would get outboxed by Devin Haney if he don't get stopped by Devin Haney. At 140, now that he won his campaign there, I see him getting shit. Who at 140? And my last question to you: who at 140 you think he has the best chance of beating? No matter the name.
With a name? Talking about a guy with a name?
Yeah, with a name. Yep, with a name. Because of course Ryan Garcia, he has a name, so he had to fight somebody with a name. No matter the network. It's hard. Yeah.
It's hard. Like I said, if Adrian Broner if he gets a split decision win over Figueroa and it's a close fight, and maybe Adrian Broner, but I mean, like you said, Adrian Broner he a bully too. So when he fight at 140, he can walk right through your shit and punish you. So Ryan Garcia might be in trouble because he's a naturally smaller guy. He won't be used to a guy like Adrian Broner, who'd have been up to 147, who got a chin. So, and then Montana Love, I think can box the shit out of him, but that might be his best opponent. I think Montana Love, and I don't know if he can beat Montana Love. But if I had to choose one, if Montana Love or Regis Prograis, and I don't think I would choose him to be the favorite in any one of those fights.
He's in a rock and a hard place. I think his mouth bit out more than he can chew when he said he wasn't going back to 135. I honestly think he was safer by saying that he was going to stay at 135. Because now that you open the door and say you're going to stay at 140, I think you open yourself to call outs from the Regis Prograis, who's hungry for a big fight. Regis Prograis he feels like he's being ducked by people at 140. So you pretty much open yourself up to a Regis Prograis call out. Montana Love, you open yourself up to a Montana Love call out. You understand what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you still open to the 135 division because they still want to. They're saying, you know what? I'll meet you at the catch weight. I'll meet you at 138. I'll meet you at 137. We don't have to go all the way to 140. I think he opened himself up a lot more than a cokehead. I'm gonna say cokehead, but then the cokehead Oscar De La Hoya, but can see. I think Oscar De La Hoya, man. I think Oscar De La Hoya is gonna feel as a promoter, man. I think this is his last hurrah. This could be another video. It's another video, of course. But I think Oscar De La Hoya, man, he's going to sell. He's going to pretty much sell out Ryan Garcia to the highest bidder, in my opinion. And I think it's going to come. I think Ryan Garcia is going to be collateral damage, and I think it's going to be ugly when it happens.
I will say this real quick. I hope that the sanctioning bodies do what they're supposed to do and give a guy like you said, Regis Prograis, Montana Love, who's been moving up the ranks at 140. Russell, one of those guys. If they gonna fight for one of them vacant, it should be for one of those guys. I hope that they don't pull no bullshit and make them fight Joe Blow, somebody we never heard of, for a vacant championship that all of a sudden became a #1 mandatory contender for the belt out of nowhere. I'm afraid that could happen because, like you said, when it comes to sanctioning bodies, it's a real shady business. But I hope that those guys that we name is the guys that get the shot if it's going to be a vacant title with Ryan Garcia.
I agree with you, man. But it's our raw review right there, man. You got anything else to add to this topic?
I think we covered it all.
Well, there you go, man. This, of course, is our raw review. You know you listen to, man, this CTB. This is Chan Tuck Boxing. I'm your boy, Jay Slay. Say peace to him, man.
All right, everybody, please, it don't cost you a penny to hit that subscribe button for us, man. If you like the content, like, subscribe, notification button, comment. It helps the community to grow. You know why? Because we love boxing and you love boxing. But most of all, God, peace and love, and we out of here. Take care.
20K, I got on roll. You see that on tape. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, don't play with it.